Hey everybody, welcome to the show. We're about to go live on 90.1. And the man playing a little good music over here. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
WMPR 901FM.com. We are your 100,000 watt powerhouse and the voice of the community.
Yep, it's gonna be a good day, everybody.
Now you are welcome to listen to Reviving Mississippi with
your
host, Keith Stamps, Jackson City Councilman Ward 4, heard every Wednesday evening from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. just before Let's Talk.
Hey, come on in and share the video, y'all. We're going to get started in just a second.
James Charles Evers, exclusively on 90.1 FM WMPR. This show is designated as your platform for call-ins to discuss all community-minded issues of Jacksonians and Mississippians here and abroad.
Y'all know we're going to go on 7 years.
You're invited to voice your opinions and concerns relevant to matters that affect you in our capital city, Jackson, and throughout the state of Mississippi.
Get started.
We
Just
now
a second.
join Reviving Mississippi with Ward 4, 9.1 FM, the voice of the community, WMPR.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Reviving Mississippi. I'm your host, Keith Stamps. We got a great show lined up for you today. We look forward to having many more to come. We're coming up on our 7-year anniversary, Handy. 7 years every Wednesday night. Sitting here looking at Handyman. Yep. As we start every show, we always start our shows off by saying, remember those people who are going through bereavement. We send our condolences to you. We send our prayers to you as you go through these trying times, especially those people who are still coronavirus hadn't went nowhere. We may be changing some of our mode of operations and things like that, but it's still around. Still safeguard yourself. When I walked in here, handed me a disinfectant thing to spray around to make sure that I keep myself safe. I pray you do the same thing. Make sure you take your vitamins and just take care of yourself out there. We've been pushing through this for over a year now, and we got to keep going. So remember those folks who are going through bereavement. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family as we continue to push through this time. Well, the city just sent out an advisement that the boil water notice has been lifted for the whole city now. So we're in the final stretches of this ordeal we've been going on. So make sure you govern yourselves accordingly. I just want to say it first off, I appreciate everybody for working hard together. It really amazes me, and it shouldn't amaze me, but it made amazing this time how many people reached out to help people. And I was proud to be a Mississippian. I was really proud, folks from all across, Black folks, white folks, Democrats, Republicans, just folks who reaching out. It really made me proud to be a Mississippian, and thank you for the hard work, everybody. And I see Miss Pauline Rogers tuning in, Miss Timothy Brown, Miss Reed. We appreciate y'all for tuning in online. And so we just thank everybody for their hard work. And even some of my council colleagues, Council President Aaron Banks, been doing a yeoman's job out there every day. And I wish I could be out there more. I've been swinging double duty. I'm serving in the state legislature. We're in session right now, and also serving on the city council. But hats off to Councilman Aaron Banks and all of the folks that's been out there on the south side, working hard at Forest Hill. The line, I came in the other day, the line was wrapped all the way around the school, through the parking lot, and back around by Forest Hill Road. And, thank everybody for just being patient, as we've gone through trying to disseminate things and help people out. Councilwoman Angelique Lee has been doing a woman's job up there at Callaway High School in the northern side over there. So we just appreciate all other council. I won't lead them start naming names, but they've been really pushing hard to try to get things done. Everybody who's donated to us, we thank everybody who is donated. And let me catch this call. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
How are you doing?
Hey, Miss Silky.
This is Silky.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live on the air, Miss Silky.
Yes. I would just like to call and thank Mr. Aaron Banks. Okay, he brought food to my husband and I because I know a lot of people know that I have been in the hospital, that I have had surgery. He made sure my husband and I had food. Mr. Aaron Banks and who else? Oh goodness. Mr. Tony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
He and his wife also, they made sure that we had food to eat. And I really do appreciate them. And I would like to thank Chef, what is his name? Well as I know his man's name.
Nick Wallace. Nick Wallace.
Mr. Wallace.
Nick Wallace was where handyman from up in Edwards, Mississippi.
Yeah, such a wonderful person.
Yeah.
He done the cooking, and I tell you, they made sure that Silky and her husband had food to eat, cooked food, and I really do appreciate them. They're just beautiful people, and I have taken Mr. Aaron Banks as for my son. I could not find a better son than that. Okay, peace out.
Yes, ma'am. You and your husband have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, sweetie.
Mm-hmm.
Peace out.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we just want to say thank you to everybody who's been helping out, especially down at the University of South Jackson. For those of you who don't know, the University of South Jackson, formerly known as Forest Hill High School, we appreciate everybody for helping out. Just everybody who's been helping out, folks in different cities and everything. Also, I want to make sure we highlight our sponsors. Mr. Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan Transportation Service has always been a good friend of the show. Definitely a pillar and a backbone to the things we do. And if you need a ride, go to www.mjstransportation1.com for your transportation and employment needs. Great guy, great service, and always doing great things for the community. And we appreciate him for always trying to help out. Every time we need some help, he always turns around and says, "Hey, brother, how can I help out?" So I appreciate him for continuing to do what he does. He even donated towards a generator. We were trying to put a generator on one of our trucks to go power people's devices that we were going around giving out water and all that. And it's been a rough month, but again, it really made me proud to be a Mississippian for everybody who has contributed and helped out and helping hand to your neighbors. I mean, we were riding through these neighborhoods, delivering water. I mean, we even had brothers that to help out. We were going to some of these neighborhoods and they didn't even have, they've been using their toilets like an outhouse, and we've been using their toilet like an outhouse. We had to go in there and unclog folks' toilets and all kinds of stuff. So, and folks just volunteered to do that. You know, when you got folks volunteering to do the dirty work, I just want to say hats off to everybody who stepped up in any way to do and offer a helping hand out to folks. I also want to say everybody who running for office, y'all are welcome to come on the show. We're not being partial. We just know how it is when it comes to folks trying to, share your story, share your testimony, and share what you want to do for your area. So if you're running for mayor or city council person, y'all welcome. Come on our show too. Y'all been going back and forth to other folks' show. Y'all welcome. Come on this end too. We definitely want to give everybody an opportunity, because I remember how it was when I was running the first time, and some folks let you on their show, some folks don't let you on their show, and you really trying to find your way. So we invite everybody the opportunity to come on today, and y'all can send me a message or give us a call, give Mac a call. We'll get you scheduled to come on the show. Today we're going to talk about a few very important things. We're going to give a moment for Brother Vernon Hardy to come on in just a second, but then we also going to we're going to talk about this a water update after Mr. Harley, and then we're going to talk about this transgender bill out. We shouldn't even be talking about it, but since so many people, I got so many messages and phone calls about this, we're going to talk about this transgender issue at the end of the show. because it's really not the most important thing on the plate right now, but we're going to definitely address it after we talk about the water update. Let me catch this call. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, how you doing, bro, Stan?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Yeah, I guess I'm like you. Why are they talking about a transgender, and that's been around for years? You know, we talk about need to go on more important issues, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to address it at the end of the show. And the only reason I'm going to address it just because so many people asked about it. I didn't address it last week or the week before. And I'm going to address it at the end when we get done talking about the more important stuff. All right?
Yeah. And one other question.
Mm-hmm.
How much longer you plan to stay on the city council?
Well, this term is over with on July the 1st. And the people who are running now, the election is April the 6th for the primary and in June for the general election. And I'm going to work to make whoever y'all send to the next office successful. And so we'll be in office at the city council level until July the 1st.
Well, you can fight a little longer for us then.
Oh, we gonna not stop fighting. We ain't going anywhere. We still gonna be doing the same thing we've been doing, just at a different level.
Okay.
All right, brother. But we'll address that transgender issue in about 20 minutes. Thanks. All right, Mr. Hartley, how you doing, sir? You muted. Are you there? There we go. Let me unmute your mic.
All right, I'm doing well. Thank you, Representative.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Doing well.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Mr. Vernon Hardy here. He's not a stranger to the show. He's been on the show several times in different capacities. When he was on the airport board, he came on the show 2 times, and then with his work with Keep Jackson Beautiful, he's been participating as well. He reached out, his team reached out, and we definitely said, yeah, you come on the show. We're not endorsing anybody, but we are saying that folks need to get an opportunity to share their message and share what they want to do. It's a lot of good folks in all these races, but I do think that Mr. Hardy's voice needs to be heard about what he plans to do for the ward. And Councilman Tillman, you're welcome to come on the show too, big. My uncle in politics, we appreciate him as well. So, Mr. Hardy, the floor is yours.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say hello to all your listeners. And secondly, I realize that some folks are not really that familiar with me. Mm-hmm. And I'll start off by saying I was born and raised in South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Okay, at 18, right out of high school, went to the military, and eventually the military brought me here to Mississippi. I was on the coast for 13 years, and I was working for the Department of Environmental Quality. I was managing waste in 17 southern counties for the state. They promoted me to Jackson, and there I served as an environmental administrator for the Department of Environmental Quality for 5 years. And my job was to lead a team of federal, state, and local agencies to help ensure the quality of the Pearl River. After that, made a lot of moves, and I think one time we bumped into each other at the Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. After I left the state, I went to work for the city of Jackson as the solid waste manager. And I have to be careful when I say, oh, I worked for solid waste and covered all the streets, because I left there in 2012. Okay, so don't look at me the way you look at maybe some of the other folks. So
it's been about 8-9 years since you left the city, and you've been doing work all over.
Yes, sir.
Now you're running for City Council Ward 5.
Well, I had to step out. I have a lot of talents and abilities God's blessed me with, and I wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing that I could come to the aid of my city, and if I didn't try, at least. I have background, again, in solid waste, wastewater, drinking water, emergency response, again, serving on the airport board, volunteering for the Democratic Party, state party. And after I left there, I went to the airport. And then after that, I've basically been volunteering since I retired 9 years ago. So I've served on 4 boards now. Revitalize Mississippi. I also serve on Keep Jackson Beautiful. I just stepped down as president, so there wouldn't be any conflicts there. but I serve on Jackson Association of Neighborhoods, and I think that's key to helping us bring the city together. And also my local neighborhood association, the Pecan Tree Park Neighborhood Association. So that's me in a nutshell.
All right, so tell the folks what you plan to do. What's your vision for Ward 5 for the future?
Okay. My vision is simple. I want to flip West Jackson and make it the powerhouse that it can be. Some folks say, well, you weren't born and bred here in Jackson. Well, some of our mayors weren't either. I don't think that should disqualify me. I've been here for 22 years in West Jackson, would not live any other place. What I'd like to do, though, I've seen the decline since the late 90s, since I arrived in the late 90s. I've seen the decline of West Jackson, and I earnestly believe that we can do better. What I would like to do is, first of all, I'd like to stabilize the neighborhoods, the ones that are run down, the streets that are run down, the issues that they face. I want to be your voice on the council, as well as bringing back the work of the council to the neighborhoods, to the communities. That's what I want to do in a nutshell. I mean, that's big, flipping West Jackson, but I fell in love with it in the late 90s, and I've been here despite many issues, and this is the only home I have. So I feel that it's important to me to try to do my best to improve the conditions. Some of those things are crime. We have, again, always potholes. That's going to happen. But we have also some things that I believe that we can quickly do stuff about, like abandoned houses and other code issues. We also need to look at crime from a community standpoint, meaning that we need to get our police beat officers into the community. Okay. A lot of times we hear on the news, JPD is asking for your help. And that's good. That's great. But we need to already have a tight bond with them. Okay. Not just see them pass by, but we need to be in a place where they our beat officers attend our neighborhood meetings, and they tell us, hey, this is what happened in your community. Okay, they don't have to use the street address or anything like that, but this is what's happening. And the next thing they give you is, here are preventative measures. These are things that you can do. And so there's a lot of other ideas I have with crime and policing. That's one of them. My entire platform, Representative, revolves around the community. I believe that we've had a big disconnect between the community and our representatives in City Hall. And I think we need to bridge that gap. I think the community is the place to go. That's where our strength comes from. That's where our prayers come from. That's where our support comes from. And that needs to be where the criticism comes from as well. And we need to take these things to heart. When a community says, these are the problems, those are the problems that you need to address on the city council. No far out plans and so forth. Certain people are hurting in West Jackson and in other parts of the city, but West Jackson and Ward 5. They're on streets that are slowly being taken over by blight. They have they've made extensive calls. Some folks have gone out on their own to take care of issues. Still, it persists. And mainly, a lot of them have lost hope. They lost hope in their children being able to grow up in a good environment and get a good job. They've lost hope. A lot of our elderly, they hear the gunshots at night, and we shouldn't have that. Some folks, including single moms, they're trying to stretch between the babysitter and the school and their job, and all they need is to bounce in a pothole and mess up the whole day. These are things that we need to pay attention to, and those are the things that I would pay attention to. So did that answer the question? Or?
Yeah, we had a question from one of our great citizens down in District 66, Miss Pauline Rogers. She says, what does Keep Jackson Beautiful do in what areas of Jackson?
Okay. Again, I just stepped down the 1st of February as president, but I can tell you Keep Jackson Beautiful is this office is an affiliate of Keep America Beautiful. It works across the entire city. If you go to the link of Keep Jackson Beautiful, there's a link.
Hi, I'm interested.
Go ahead, I'm sorry about that.
No problem. There's a link that will allow you to fill out a form.
Did your internet freeze up, Mr. Hartley? But as he was saying, Keep Jackson Beautiful is an affiliate of Keep America Beautiful, and they organize cleanups and promote keeping your city clean. Now, we know if there's one thing that we can talk about here in Jackson, is about the need to keep things clean and in order, and they do cleanups every weekend. We just had a big one in South Jackson this past weekend. So I encourage everyone, if you don't know about Keep Jackson Beautiful, or if you want to participate in some cleanups, definitely reach out to that organization and through the city, so we can continue to keep our areas clean and hopefully get to a day where people don't just put the trash down there in the first place. So let's keep working hard towards keeping things clean. I think we lost Mr. Hartley. I think he may have had some technical difficulties, but we're gonna move right along with an update about this water situation. You probably gonna see in the news over the next couple of days where we're advocating for a complete solution for the city, not just some upgrades to our water plant or transmission lines, but when you look at a map of our city and our service area when it comes to the water sewer system, what you don't see is towards the southern part of Jackson and in Byram. I'm gonna pull a map up on the screen for those folks who are watching on the internet. But when you look at a map of our city, there are a lot of water towers and water supply distribution areas on the northern side of town. But when you come down to the southern side of our city, there's only a few in those areas. So we're advocating for more water towers in South and West Jackson. The city council passed a resolution this past week that was requesting specific resources for 2 additional water towers in South Jackson, 1 in Byram and 1 in West Jackson, so that we won't just be solely relying on our water treatment center to push us water. There'll be sufficient storage capacity in our area, so that if there's ever an issue at the water plant like this one, there'll be enough capacity of water right in these other areas, because it's a long way to try to push water all the way across the city, and this will help make our system more resilient. So what I see now is a complete solution being looked at of how we can work on our production capacity, our transmission lines, but to me, most importantly, our storage capacity inside some of these areas that don't have what we consider adequate storage capacity to move forward. So that's what we're pushing for at the Capitol right now. And I've been overjoyed about the response we've gotten from folks who want to help out. We got to call Henry. All right, send it over, Henry. Hello, caller, welcome to the show. Hello, caller, welcome to the show.
Good evening. Thank you for taking my call. My name is Gwen Chapman, City Council Ward 3, and I was outside. May I come in and say something on my behalf?
Hold on one second, Ms. Chapman. Let me let Mr. Hartley finish with his comments, all right?
All right, thank you very much.
All right. Mr. Hartley,
the lights just went out.
oh,
So,
that's what you linked out.
we're trying to make it work. I was speaking about Keep Jackson Beautiful. The lady had called and asked about it. Basically, you can go to their website and they will click on the form, fill it out, tell when you want to do a cleanup and location and time and so forth. They will respond that day with bags and the gloves and litter grabbers and reflective vests, okay, as the supply will allow. But it's open to everyone. And with this pandemic, there has and the and fast food places being used more and more, our litter has picked up tremendously. And so, any chance you can get to clean up around your neighborhood or along the streets, then hey, it's greatly appreciated.
Okay, so elections right around the corner. Tell the folks what you want to do and when you want to do it.
Okay. Someone asked me today on the radio, what are you going to do on day one? And I was like, it's just so much. But day one, after I make plans for staff and phone calls and so forth, and give folks a place to call, I want to go back to those places that are worst off. Back in 2008, when I was with the city, I asked my chief inspector, take me to the worst place, because that's important to see what we have to start from. There are plenty of spaces around Ward 5, but my first thing is going to be find out what's going on in each community and start to stabilize each community. The reason that's so important is as the community grows, businesses are going to want to come in. We add more tax dollars to the city's coffers. And also, there's more places to go, places to eat, so forth. But it's all built around the fact that we need a good, strong communities in the city of Jackson. And none can be left out. None can be ignored. There are real issues that we definitely have to address.
Okay. And when is the election and what you want to do on election day? Okay.
Well, obviously, I want you to vote for the first person on the ballot. That's Vernon Hardy. And but until then, if you have any community meetings, you'd like to hear more details on what I intend on doing, then you can go to our website, www.hartleyward5.com, and you can click on that and find out more information about me, find out about my platform, and be able to get in touch with me. And I would love to meet with you. Any community, any day, I want to be there, because that's the job of a representative, is to be there for you and be a voice on the council when those decisions are being made affecting our lives.
All right. Well, my prayers are with you. You and everybody else. You got some good folks on that ballot you're running.
There are good folks.
And I look forward to a good, healthy debate of y'all issues. Y'all have a forum coming up, right?
We have a forum tomorrow evening. I think it's around 5:30ish. But I will be glad to send you the flyer to it so your listeners can get more information. Okay. But it will be a way to see side by side the different ideas, and a lot of great ideas, and have a better way to evaluate how your vote needs to go.
All right. Well, that's Vernon Hardy, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate your service coming on, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, I hope they get the lights fixed.
Yes, sir.
All right, take care.
All right. And again, ladies and gentlemen, let's make sure you take care of yourselves out there who are under the sound of my voice and beyond. This all speaks to why we should be more prepared for different situations. And come on in. Make sure we take care of yourselves. Hey, you here?
Huh?
Come on in, Miss Chapman. Come on and have a seat.
Thank you very much.
All right. I thought you were gonna call in, Miss Chapman.
I did.
Yeah, have a seat.
Okay.
Let me get my mask on. She came in. I don't even have my mask in here. It's in the other room. But Miss Chapman, you want to say a few words?
Well, thank you very much. Well, my name is Gwen Chapman, and I'm a candidate for Ward 3 for the city of Jackson. I would have to be Ward 3 next city council.
Okay.
Now, someone say, well, how do you qualify? What make you such a better person than my opponent, Ward 3, for 30 years? Well, first of all, other than being an 833 nation, even though I didn't graduate from linear, I did attend, and I did graduate from Los Angeles, California, yoga instructor, meditative instructor, and I'm a grounded person. With yoga, you're grounded, you're centered.
Well, you show ready to rock and roll, Miss Chapman. I said, call me to schedule a time to come on the show. You came on down to the studio. That's okay. So the election is when and what you want the folks to do?
Well, the election is April the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And I am running for Ward 3 City Council.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot to offer in terms of community because, well, you know, I heard the voice of my children and youth and elder crying. So what we ended up doing was, with a 501c3, develop a school
Mm-hmm.
that would help bring out the self-realization of a purpose, you know, a person's sole purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Person, well, how do you go about doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, once we identify our self-realization and through breathing methods,
Mm-hmm.
through meditation, through aromatherapy, through all the arts there is, it brings about the soul purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Nelson Mandela School is sort of like the hobbies that one would enjoy. So what we ended up doing was, about every 2 weeks, we'll introduce a hobby. We'll look in terms of how that person would gravitate.
Mm-hmm.
And once they gravitate from their writing about it, adding and subtracting about it, reading about it, doing a social research about it, we'll know they're gravitating to their soul purpose.
Well, I will say this about Ms. Chapman. A few years ago, people made fun of you when you ran last time. You talked about marijuana.
No, it wasn't marijuana.
No, I remember the last time you ran, a lot of folks made fun of you, but then they turned around and they voted for it on the ballot last year. So we appreciate you for coming in. We'll get you scheduled to come back at another time, and thank you for your time, Ms. Chapman.
As a matter of fact, my daughter and I ended up being a licensed industrial hemp.
Yep.
We got that to grow.
Yeah, you talked about the last time you ran.
I appreciate you so much because you really worked hard in terms of understanding me, and it worked. You know, I had to run on the
See, that's why you got to listen to folks, even though you might not agree with folks and not even know people, but we got to listen to each other. You were making a good point, and it was proven that folks wasn't the right time, but you were ahead of your time.
Yeah.
But then about 2 years later, they came back and legalized what you were campaigning on.
Yeah.
So hats off to you, Miss Chapman, and your family.
I appreciate you.
And let me finish up the show, and we'll touch base with you next time.
That sounds good.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, ma'am. So, if you want to come by the show, just give us a call. Give our office a call, and we'll get you scheduled to come on. Miss Chapman, you know, she's always tuned in. She tunes in every week, and we appreciate her for that. But give us a call so we can schedule you to come on the show. A lot of folks have been asking questions, and you know, all around asking me about this transgender issue and why was I the only, you know, when you look at that picture that was at the bill signing, why was I the only Black person there? Why was I the only one wearing a mask at the time? And, you know, I just wanted to tell folks that, you know, I think we missed the opportunity for unity on an issue we agree on. I didn't start the show off with this topic, but I wanted to touch on it just because it had so much attention and so many questions were asked. And when it comes down to it, on every issue, I just don't put my opinion out there. I go talk to my constituents, and I represent Utica, Byron, Terry, Raymond, Utica, and South Jackson. And then this issue affects folks all over. And I listen to folks on both sides of the aisle. I listen to people who, you know, just because somebody may not be the same party as me, I still listen to you on the issue. And when I sat down and thought about it, you know, I made my mind up. And even if I got to stand somewhere by myself, I'm not afraid to stand somewhere by myself. But I ran across some commentary from some of the leaders in the LGBT community about this issue. And I wanted to share it with y'all. Let me see if I can pull this up right quick so y'all can listen to it. This is from Fox Soul.
I'm going to get into the trans awareness issues. The Mississippi State Legislature passed a bill this week that bans transgender athletes from competing on female sports teams at schools and universities. That there are currently 25 states considering laws like this, specifically banning transgender women from competing in women's sports activities. What are your thoughts on this?
You know, this is very controversial, and with me being one of the outspoken leaders in media of the LGBTQ community, I might come under a lot of fire for this, but here's what I have to say. My aunt and my grandmother taught me that in this life, we all have our cross to bear. And the reality of the situation is that there are just going to be some things by virtue of who you are you're not going to be able to do in this life. You're not going to be allowed to participate in, you're not going to have access to. And unfortunately, when you were dealt the trans hand, no matter how you slice it and dice it, you may be a woman in your psyche, in your spirit, in your soul, in your mind, and everywhere else that matters. But from a physical and biological perspective, you are a man. You are male. Science has proven that men, by virtue of who they are stronger, more agile, and faster than women. It is just unfair. And it's one of those things, and I'm sorry if this sounds insensitive, that the trans community is just going to have to forego in exchange for all the other liberties that they're trying to get. You can't have everything, and that's going to be one of them. Maybe the answer is you start a trans league, but you cannot tell me by any stretch of the imagination that if you put a trans woman against a cisgendered woman, that there's not a physical advantage.
Right. I have to agree with Funky on that, because this is the deal. Why not just create a whole different league? Why not create a whole different division? Because we have a women's, you have a men's. Why not have a trans? Because have you guys seen the video of these trans women running in track, at least in track and field or in other competitive sports, against the other women? It's like they are blowing them away. It's not even like it's close. So what it shows me is that that's not even fair in the least bit. And a lot of these women have spent their entire careers from AAU track and field when they were 12 all the way up until they're 20 to try to win and maintain certain, races, and they are being trumped by these trans runners. So I'm concerned about that. So my thing is, let's level the playing field and let's create a trans division. Why not, or a trans league? My brain's not working right now, but why not compete? Why not let them compete on an equal footing?
And I understand the argument that, the whole point of transitioning is to live what you feel, your truth and how you identify, and not to feel excluded. I understand that. As someone that ran track for like 15 years, I think it was, the difference between first, second, and third place can literally be a hundredth of a second. And any little competitive edge you can get will make the difference between you getting a scholarship or not. Between you getting that blue medal and that gold ribbon, that gold ribbon and that blue medal or not. And in track and field, they don't care about second and third place. They really don't. It's all about the winner. You never hear about who's second in the 100-meter dash or the 200-meter dash or the mile. It's number one. So I do feel like, even though there are studies that say, and I heard the argument that, okay, that with trans women, there's testosterone suppressors and all kinds of things. So their levels are lower as a cisgender woman, like equal. But I still feel like there's muscle, bone density, there's so many things, and science proves this, y'all. And I'm all for the transgender community to feel included. I really am. I rock with y'all. But when I'm seeing MMA fights where a cis woman's skull was fractured because the trans woman that she fought was so much stronger, we've got to come up with a solution that works for everyone. We really do. And that's not to dish anybody.
Well, what's wrong with starting their own league?
Well, because the whole thing is that you're supposed to be transitioned into the mainstream world. And speaking of, it's something that gave us a lot of education into that, Claudia. I don't mean to jump ahead.
Yeah, but I don't want to just bog the whole show down. They had a great commentary, and there are some commentators that are some of the voices that are in the LGBT community. And, for us, we're going to vote our convictions. And we're going to stand up. I don't agree with Tate Reeves on everything they do. I don't agree with Democrats or Republicans on everything, but the stuff we agree on, we should be able to stand up together. And so that's why I supported the legislation. And the reason why I went down there with the bill signing, because I was just getting ready to go to work and I wasn't going to go to the bill signing. But then I looked down there and they said it wasn't none but white folks and Republicans that were at this bill signing. And I wasn't finna let them take that picture as if no black people and no Democrats support this issue. So for me, I don't criticize folks on how they vote, but I know for the folks I represent, and their position on it. And, you know, I know some folks, and I probably got an email and phone call from everybody that's in that community that felt offended. And, you know, I respect folks for their opinions, and I just ask that they respect me, mine, because I got a right to vote how I feel I should vote. And, you know, my grandmama watched that TV every day. You know, I can't be on TV represent something that my constituents and my family don't support. And I believe that if folks who want these different things should not try to sway the leaders to change their mind, you need to go to the community, because that's what I represent, the community. And so, you know, it wasn't a hard decision for them to make. I really didn't think it was going to be a divisive issue when we brought it up to ready to vote. Myself and my desk mate, we sitting there, we voted, and we were just talking. And then we looked up and we saw the divide in the vote. And, you know, that's when I realized it was maybe a more partisan type issue or a different type issue we're dealing with. But I really thought it was an opportunity for us to stand together. And in climates like this, we have to seize these opportunities. Hold on one second, Carl. We have to seize these opportunities to be unified in a divisive kind of political space that we're in. Every opportunity for us to stand together and agree on something is an opportunity that we need to make sure we seize. And I think it's a missed opportunity for us, because when we look at things that we agree on, when we get to stuff we disagree on, maybe we may have a better respect for each other. You can call back in. The phone line is open, 601-948-5950. That's 601-948-5950. If you want to call in. Somebody called in a second ago, and and I told them to hold on, and they hung up. But you can call back in, and as we move forward. And like Reverend Porter said, read the bill and vote your conviction. And that's just what it is. So we're going to keep pushing forward on that issue, many more. When it comes to the real issues of Mississippi, you know, right now there's real, and I didn't realize when you get involved in the organization, see how it works, it's not exactly how I thought it was going to be, because there are some folks who want to work together. But with our polarized society, and we allow these national politics to take over us here locally in Mississippi. And that's one of the things that really tears us apart, is that we jump on some of these national issues and it divides us when we agree. And that's one of the issues that we got to work through in Mississippi, is that we argue when we agree, when our constituencies agree. So we got to work on putting some of our fists down and put our hand out on issues that we agree on, so that we can provide better government. Because I'm a firm believer that every level of government in this country is failing the people. And I'm involved in two of them right now. From the local to the state to the federal government, is failing the people because folks aren't working together on issues they agree on. And I see a shift happening. There's folks out there that's trying to work to provide better for people, and on both sides of the aisle. You know, before I went down to the Capitol, I thought that it was just so contentious, but it's just contentious on certain issues. We just got to have people to reach out and bring people together around common issues. You know, even around this water situation right here in Jackson, the first people that reached out was the Coast delegation. They sent a couple of 18-wheelers of water, and that was one of the first water donations that we received from outside Jackson. So there are some times we can work together. Hopefully we can use the sense of unity that we push forward during this crisis to get better working relationships with everybody involved. And it's going to take people stepping out on different issues and working together. You know, right after that, I got asked to be a conferee for the water bill assistance bill. That's when the Senate and the House may not be totally together on something. They asked some representatives from both sides to sit down and work out issues. And so I look forward to that. And that's, you know, I'm not saying it's because I stepped out on another issue, but it's probably because I show myself willing to step out on different issues and see where we can find common ground to bring better results back to the folks of Mississippi. So that's what we got to do, is continue to work hard, continue to work together, because working together works. The call in number 601-948-5950. That's 601-948-5950. Anybody want to call in, have a question about anything we discussed, you can do so. I got an announcement from Commissioner Willie Simmons' office. It says they're providing, Commissioner Willie Simmons, Central District Transportation Commissioner. Today, we're encouraging all citizens to please go and get a vaccine. If you need a ride, you can give them a call at 1-877-866-8272. That's 1-877-866-8272. And that's from Commissioner Willie Simmons' office. He's the Central District Transportation Commissioner. And that's all across Mississippi, specifically in the 22 counties that take on the Central District. I got a comment said, you are a politician, whether you agree or disagree, you're representing the state of Mississippi. That would all Mississippi. Yeah, and totally right. You know, we all represent different places. We represent Mississippi, so we should be working together. And so, ladies and gentlemen, just know that we're continuing to work hard every day, and it's not as contentious as they make it sound. It's just folks just got to work together and really, you know, instead of putting your hands up, you know, like this, you got to stick your hand out and look for issues where you agree on and start working together. And that's what we're trying to do, and we're starting to get some traction on that. And I look forward to continue to push this session towards getting some real good things done. We got some good legislation we pushed forward this year, and we're going to land this big, huge ship of all these bills that we're pushing for. I was reading one of the comments on it, and talking about South Jackson. You're totally right. We're going to continue to work hard in South Jackson. But the call-in number is 601-948-5950 for those who want to call in. We got about 10 minutes left to go on the show. Again, the call-in number is 601-948-5950. As y'all know, I don't like to talk the whole time. I like to hear from y'all. If you got a question or comment on any of the issues that's going on at the Capitol, you are welcome to call in, or at City Hall. We had a City Council meeting this past week as well, so I went by there. Let me catch the call. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's your question or comment?
Good evening, Mr. Sam.
Hey, brother.
Who's responsible for putting those blue lights up on the poles around the city in South Jackson?
That's a program that was put on through the city of Jackson, and it's called the Real-Time Command Center, where they put these lights up and these cameras on these different poles.
Okay, what would you have to do to get on your street?
Well, you don't have to get one of those on your street. They have a program where you can connect your home surveillance system to the system, and you can be connected to it that way. You can give the mayor's office a call at 601-960-1084. That's 601-960-1084.
Okay.
All right, brother. So, but the best solution for crime is economy. Let's focus on spending our money with folks that's in our community. Spend your money local. I know folks want to buy stuff online, but we got to get more legal money circulating in our streets. We got to build our economy up. We got to buy local, shop local, and so that we can create more jobs here. And that's, to me, one of the top issues when it comes to crime. I know we have all these different things for solving crime, but when folks are working, folks are making money, then crime goes down. Call the number 601-948-5950. We got about 7 minutes left to go on the show. If anybody got a comment or a question, and if you're out there in the sound of my voice, you should be preparing yourself for bad weather. When this storm passes, we always have an Easter snap, you know, so Easter's right around the corner. I don't want some little cold snap to come in. And we just got through with a cold tragedy a few weeks ago, and we're ill prepared for it. So as always, continue to make sure you have your appropriate, emergency stuff in preparation. Do it continually. You can go to www.ready.gov to look at some things that you need to do and learn about dealing with weather emergencies and just tragedies, period. We have to make our communities more resilient, and the way you do that is having a higher sense of emergency preparation, because these storms and different tragedies, as y'all know, life goes problem, crisis, problem, crisis. So let's make sure that we, you know, have a sense of preparation, because when you're prepared, when you're ready, you don't have to get ready. All right. So take care of yourselves. Make sure you govern yourselves accordingly in these different places. My heart goes out to the folks who've already been negatively affected by this tragedy. I saw some pictures on the news that happened earlier today from places where high winds, straight line winds, and storm damage have already happened. So if you are dealing with that, let's make sure that you, you know, take care of yourselves, help your neighbors, because we got a lot of work to continue to do to take care of each other. Let me make sure I got these announcements. Okay, Pastor Hall right there in Ward 4 just sent me an announcement. He says we are giving away water Saturday morning at 10 a.m. till we run out at Holy Temple Baptist Church. That's 5077 Cannabis Circle, Jackson, Mississippi. We received an 18-wheeler from Fellowship Chicago, Pastor Reginald Sharp, and this is Pastor Audrey L. Hall at Holy Temple. So Saturday morning at 10 a.m. at 5077 Cannabis Circle, right there in right in West Jackson, right off Highway 80. Like you go into Clinton, you dive up on go north on West Haven, and then right there on the left-hand side there, go see Pastor Audrey Hall. They're gonna have an 18-wheeler over at the church. And so again, good people reaching out, connecting with folks. We appreciate Pastor Hall. She's been and that whole ministry over there. Ms. Brown and Mr. Brown and the others over there have been just pillars of that community, and we thank them for their work. And they may not have the biggest church in town, but they got some big hearts over there at Holy Temple. So we appreciate everybody at Holy Temple for what you're doing and what you have done in that area. And that's what it takes, everybody. Everybody pulling out your phone, get off Facebook, and go through your Rolodex and figure out who need help. And is there somebody in my phone who can help them with what they need, about connecting the dots and just reaching out to folks. And that's something I think we done lost. It used to be when somebody had a problem, we all had a problem. Remember that, y'all? Remember back in the day? Hey, Hannah, remember when somebody had a problem, everybody had a problem. It wasn't just handyman problem. It's everybody's problem. And that's what we got to get back to, is when we see somebody in need, that's everybody's problem, that person's in need. And it shouldn't take a tragedy for us to get back to that. If we can get back to that, we can get back to a better way of life and a better way of how we deal with each other and how we just respect each other and love each other. You know, I don't say this stuff at the end of the show that I say every week, you know, about, you know, never let anybody put you in a position where you don't love your own people. That's including you too. We got to make sure we care about each other. No matter what your race or party is and all that stuff. If you don't care about folks, that's what it's going to take. Neighbors caring about neighbors. You got folks nowadays don't even have their neighbor's phone number. You know, so my task for all y'all who understand my voice, if you haven't spoken to your neighbor, go speak to them. Just the folks right around you, your house to your left and right and across the street. My task between now and next Wednesday night is for you to go speak to your neighbor and make sure you got their phone number. That's what I'm asking everybody to do, Hannah. Go reach out to your neighbor and make sure that we continue to push for the things that we need. I see a sister says, speak on the need for Medicaid. Oh my gosh. You're totally right. We definitely need to get folks insured. You can't be living your life with your whole health care coming through an emergency room. You had to have a general practitioner and quality health care as we move forward. So we definitely need to continue to push for Medicaid expansion, and we'll continue to do so. But we're going to wrap today's show up, ladies and gentlemen. Again, our sponsors are Michael Jordan Transportation Service. You can go to www.mjstransportation1.com for your transportation needs. Make sure you take care of yourself. Govern yourself accordingly when it comes to these bad weather issues, and make sure you reach out to your neighbors. So my task to you between now and next week is to reach out to your neighbors to make sure that you just connect with them, make sure they're okay, make sure you have their phone number so when something happens, you can reach out to them and y'all can rebuild community together. As we end every show, we always say, never let anybody put you in a position where you don't love your own people. Because when you hate your own people, you're part of the very oppression we're trying to lift ourselves out of. We got one more call. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. Turn your radio down, caller.
I'm gonna turn it down.
All right.
And they say who out that neighbor or the one that lives next door. This is the neighbor thing.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
they said who are our neighbors. And I was asking a question and one didn't want to answer. And they say about George Floyd, but with a flu, policeman, and the Black Lives Matter. If Black Lives Matter, where are we collectively, black men? And Beyonce and Oprah and all of them collectively with the black, we have no power. If Black Lives Matter, where are we when it comes to black on black crime? And the killing each other? You killing about one white man, a corrupted policeman. If Black Lives Matter, where do it matter? In my community in Jackson, we had 100 and so many black on black lives that killed, black on black crime. If Black Lives Matter collectively, black men and black business want, don't let it stop at Memphis and on the hill where kings are traveling. And collectively, the black men and black people, and we look it out here and come out with a George Floyd. But do you see in the homes, in the ghettos, in the mother crime, with black on black crime? If black on black lives matter, you gonna jump out there and look in with George Floyd. If Black Lives Matter to me, and I didn't make the Hollywood, I'm hollering in the hood. But with black on black crime, it didn't matter. Come and help me and these mothers. If Black Lives Matter, up 120 some homicide in Jackson with black on black crime.
I appreciate it, sister.
Now, that Black Lives Matter.
Thank you, dear.
Then show me that it matters.
That's right. She totally right. We got to go. We got Doctor. We got to get off the show. They're about to shut us down in a minute. But she totally right. Black lives matter to you. It should matter every day, not just when it comes from outside our community. We got some in-house work to do. All right. A lot of times we don't really talk about the in-house work that black folks got to do inside our own house, inside our own neighborhood, inside our own community. We just put the shine on what other communities need to do in relation to us. But we also got to make sure that we do what we need to do to clean up our own neighborhoods ourselves. So I love y'all. God bless. We'll see y'all next week. And don't forget, go meet your neighbor. Tell them you love them. Get their phone number. I love y'all. God bless. Handyman, get us out of here.